back. We're back with the webinar of a lifetime, part 2. We're going to be connecting the dots today. We're also going to be doing something that, well, was going to be question and answer, but Cotton ran this epic webinar last night. Epic webinar. I'm talking 5,000 comments on Facebook, and if you doubt me, we'll actually show you this. We'll let you into the Facebook group where it all happened. But it was really exciting, and we played what we call, Cotton, is it OMG Fact or Fiction? Is that what it was?
Yes, it is OMG Fact or Fiction for SEO. OMG
Fact or Fiction. We're not going to keep it just to SEO for today. We're going to open it up to all of money getting. So you've got online here myself, Mike Long. You've also got Cotton Grammar, and actually let me put up my thing. And Joe Marfolio, and each of us is making, we're each quite successful. Cotton's incredibly successful, as he pointed out during the first part of the webinar of the century. And by the way, we don't go into all this business about like, oh, how much we make in this or that to, make anybody jealous or anything like that. It's just, ultimately speaking, realistically speaking, if you want to, just have an awful lot of success online, of course, it makes sense to be learning from somebody who's making money doing what they're teaching you. I mean, it's just common sense. I don't seem to be able to get my lower third to activate here. I wish we had Fletcher on. He always knows how to make everything work, but I can't seem to get that to work. So I'd like to put my email address on the lower third here. Maybe I could write up a little sign and hold it up and say, email me at omg@omgmachines.com. That's how we're going to get our feedback. So it's going to be a little bit low tech here, but I'll write it down. omg@omgmachines.com. All right, so I'm going to make myself a little impromptu lower third here. This is not the nicest thing I've ever done. Maybe the other guys can make their lower third say omg@omgmachines.com. That's where you can email me. That's my personal email address. Is that coming across backwards? It looks backwards on my screen, but is it coming off normal? Cotton?
I'm actually seeing it as normal.
As normal. Okay, so omg@omgmachines.com, and that's where you'll email me your fact or fiction. First, we're going to start off this event really trying to connect the dots. We just did the webinar of a lifetime with Vic, and it was so exciting. The topic was $100,000 talent, although Vic came out and said it's not $100,000 talent, it's $1 million talent. I agree with that. I thought that was brilliant. I was actually on the phone with Vic for quite a while today as we were preparing this event. We want it to be pretty fast and furious, but yet exciting. We've actually cooked up a couple of plot twists for you. I think are going to come together as this event progresses. Now, we've got another couple of guests that are trying to come on and join us. So I need to make sure to get invitations out to them. Let's see, there we go. Morrison and let's see here. Just doing one more. Great. So sending out a few more invites, so hopefully we'll be able to get everybody live on the line. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike.
Hey, Joe. We've only got you for a limited amount of time because starting in, when do you have your coaching? When does it start?
It starts at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So you have your 8 o'clock coaching, and you're gonna you do what we call our hot seat coaching. You're coming on to particularly help people understand. By the way, pardon the mess in the office. We've got a lot of Amazon packaging and shipping that we're doing right now. So that's why we have all these, I don't have any in arm's reach, but all these packing and shipping supplies that are around. But anyways, so Joe Marfolio has coaching for our OMG Project Breakthrough members starting in less than an hour. So we've only got him for a short period of time here. And so let me actually start off with Joe, with you and Cotton. With OMG, and again, if you have questions, you can email them to omg@omgmachines.com. I'm going to ask Fletch here in a second if he can help me figure out why it is that my lower third isn't working. But this is our little cheap version, or a quick and dirty version of having a lower third here for you. But anyways, there was so much excitement from the webinar of a lifetime that we did with Vic just this time last week. And before we wrap things up with opening up OMG, already had a terrific time with everybody. We've got an incredible bonus package that Vic has put together with you that actually Bob Proctor helped put together. We're going to be closing things out right about midnight Monday. We really wanted to help connect the dots for people. There's so much excitement. Like, wow, on last Thursday, you met so many people making so much money. I mean, Cotton made over $430,000 last month, and that's not the way it's always been for him. This time last year, he was really still just getting his start. He actually really only joined us at the beginning of 2014. So that's an enormous story. He met Liz having all this incredible success on Amazon. Joe's having so much success in several different categories, some with affiliate marketing that we talked about, some with clients, some doing what we call pay-per-lead, and now Joe's actually even getting into the game on Amazon himself. And of course, we've got Fletch. Fletch is just having his extraordinary success. And so people were filled with energy. You met Greg Morrison at the end of things, buzzing, but really wanting to know a little bit more about how the pieces fit together and how to connect the dots and really how to land the airplane. And so Joe, since you've got to go shortly, I want to actually begin with you. And affiliate marketing is something that people are particularly interested in. You actually wanted to move your family, your whole family. You wanted to uproot them from America and move them to Costa Rica for a whole year. Crazy, crazy plan that you had. It worked out, of course. Now you're back because you're a father once again, and you wanted to move back closer to your family. But Joe, when you were putting together your affiliate marketing moves, or if you're putting together a new affiliate offer today, can you help us walk through what that would look like and help us kind of connect the dots on what steps would actually have to be taken, what you're advising people to do right now inside of OMG to have the kind of success that you have, really, at this point, ultimately set it and forget it stuff?
I mean, yeah, Mike, like for me, when I wanted to get going to Costa Rica, like you said, I wanted some income that was going to be coming in kind of every month where I didn't have to do a lot or have a lot of maintenance. And so what I did was I went to places. One of the places is called ClickBank. And what that is people make information products. They'll make products on anything, say weight loss, how to stop smoking, panic attacks. I think I showed that video maybe, but and they're specialists in this area. So they put this product together and they sell it. Say the product sells for $49, $49.95. Well, through this particular website, I partner with them, and every sale I become their affiliate. So every sale that I bring to them through my website or my videos, I get 50 to 60% of whatever the cost of the item is. And
now, how do you meet this person to partner with them?
Well, that's what I said. We go through the site. It's called ClickBank. So and anyone could join.
ClickBank. I actually myself, of course, know the answer. I've made a lot of money on ClickBank, but I want to make sure that we particularly connect the dots for folks watching us today.
Yeah. So it's called ClickBank.com. You go there, and anybody could join it. And you go and like if you go to that site, you go over to the marketplace, and you'll see all of these products, and they have different rating systems and everything else. And we kind of go over that inside OMG. But what you do there is that's how you meet these professionals that put these products out. And I remember before I did this is I always thought, man, I'd love to make a product like on weight loss and sell it, right? Like who wouldn't? You watch Shark Tank and you watch all these people who make these products and sell them, but making that product is a whole step, right? You have to put it together. Is it going to sell? I have to make the landing page. I got to test it. Like, there's a lot of stuff you have to do. But when you go into a site like this, it's already done. The product's made. They have a sales page already you can use. They've tested that sales page, so they know if it converts or not. So my first step is to go in there and to find a niche that I'm familiar with, or that I'm familiar with, that I think is going to convert very well, and someone who has a nice offer. Then the next thing I do is I want to test that offer, and I don't want to put a ton of effort into it. So I'll put in I'm getting a little echo here. Are you hearing that echo at all, or is it just me?
I'm not hearing an echo. Fletch or Cotton, are you guys hearing an echo?
Yes, I'm hearing a very bad echo.
Yeah, I was too.
All right, let me. I think it's better now. Yeah, it's better now. So where was it? All right. So if I want to get this offer, I want to be able to test the offer. So how I test it is I'll usually make a video on that offer. So say if it's on panic attack, and that's one video that I did, is I'll put a video together on panic attacks. I'll go through a system of ranking it, and I'll see what kind of traffic I get, and I see how many people watch the video, how many people will click and go over to the landing page, and how well it converts. If I start getting traffic to it, then I'll go ahead and I'll build my own website, and I'll look for more keywords, and I'll start ranking that website. Thus, I'll be getting more traffic. And the key is once you start getting that traffic, you don't want to lose the traffic. So say if I had the traffic came in, they watched my video, they clicked my link, and they went to the affiliate page, and they looked at the product, they didn't buy it. Okay, that guy is gone. He's never going to watch my video again. I can't ever contact him again. So once I know I'm getting like people clicking on the link, when I go to build my website, what I do is from my video or other media that I put up, I send them to my landing page. And once they get to my landing page, what I'll have is a video, what's called an opt-in box, or I'll have an offer. So say it's on panic attack, I'll say, I might have a video on there that says, listen, if you want my free 12-step guide on how to deal with panic attacks, just give me your email. Okay, so I'm not even selling them anything on this page. So they put in their email, and then it takes them over from there to the affiliate offer. Now, they may not buy the affiliate offer, which is fine, because once I have their email, then I have what's called an autoresponder, and this is software that I have several emails set up ready to go. So say I have 15 emails. When they opt in to that, they opt in, they give me their email, immediately they get an email that is preset. Then 3 days later, they get another email. Then a week later, maybe another one. And so I keep sending them emails. Now, these emails aren't all emails to sell them, like, hey, buy my product or buy this product. Some emails may be like, hey, I saw this cool video on how this guy deals with his panic attacks, and and then they click it and they watch the video, and then maybe every third one it'll be for a different product or something else. So this way, that traffic I can keep marketing to them, and they're not lost. But that kind of stuff, you set it up, and you're done.
Now, Joe, you actually particularly have some shortcuts that you're using to really make that all come together. For example, with the autoresponder, like you were saying, you're not even necessarily writing those emails yourself.
No, I don't. Now, there's some products where in ClickBank too, they'll even have the emails in there that you can use. But what I've done too is I've actually opted in, because sometimes the people who sell the product, they'll sometimes have an opt-in somewhere. So I'll opt in to their product, and I'll just take the emails they send me, and I just copy those emails. Maybe I'll change them up a little bit, or I'll put my own links in there. But that way, then pretty much those emails are already written, and I know those emails have been tested. These guys have been using it, so as long as they look good, I'll use them sometimes.
And of course, it's actually literally to that product owner's benefit. So let's say if Fletch had a product on how to be a better golfer, and he had a whole marketing funnel set up, then of course it's to his benefit if you use his marketing funnel to sell his product, which he then benefits from, and you get a commission from.
Oh yeah, I mean I did that once with an addiction product, and the owner of the product actually emailed me and said I was pretty much his #1 affiliate, and and I copied his autoresponder, and he was happy I did it, because the more sales I make, the more sales he makes. So yeah, it's totally in his best interest for sure.
All right, terrific. Well, Joe, certainly hang on with us for a little while if you can. I know you like to be prepared and get ready to share your to share things. I'm actually going to find out from Fletch. Fletch, do you? I know you're so often Johnny on the spot. We kind of like to think of you sometimes as the Swiss Army knife of OMG. Do you happen to have either are aware of one of Joe's examples that we can walk through, at least at Panic Site or something like that, or have something of your own that we can show a little bit later on?
As far as an affiliate product example?
That's correct. Example? Yep.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think of anything I have ClickBank-wise that we could show.
So I was going to say we could show Joe's panic attack. The reason why I ask you is I know I'm going to have trouble sharing my screen.
Joe, if you could just message me over your URLs, I can display those. Yep.
I'll send it to you now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, great. So we'll get over to that in a minute. I want to give Fletch time to set that up. Everyone, please thank Joe. Joe's actually getting ready to do coaching for OMG in just a short period of time, but I really want to connect the dots for people. I want you to consider that to be kind of part one of getting the dots connected for you, because Fletch is going to kind of take us part two a little bit into Joe's example, and Fletch is so great at explaining things, and he'll be able to walk you through on the screen what that actually looks like. So, of course, I don't expect just from a verbal explanation for everything to boom, make perfect sense to you, but we're going to attack this from a few different angles, and that way it's going to come together and make a whole lot of sense for you. Now, what I want to do now is get to Cotton, and Cotton, we got so many thank yous for the incredible time people had with you last Thursday. You're inspiring. For some people, they were even moved to tears. So I want to take this moment to thank you on behalf of all the people that wrote in, and thanked me and thanked Vic, for last Thursday. Certainly very spellbinding. Currently probably muted, Cotton. Sorry about that.
I think I'm good now. I just say, you're welcome, and it was spoken from the heart, so I meant every word I said.
All right, great. So can you help us connect the dots, Cotton? The way you're making all this money is primarily from clients that might be a dentist or might even be a much bigger company at this point. Mm-hmm. Somebody was funny. Somebody posted in the OMG group today about they're trying to pursue a deal with one of these companies that does airlines, ride shares and stuff like that, and you pointed them to Armando, who has success with that. How did one of these deals come together? Can you walk us through, especially your snowballing technique? Because I think that would just be extraordinary for people. I'm going to a little work on a little tech glitch I'm having in the background, but I'll be right here listening to you.
Sure. What I think that the biggest thing about client consulting is that people are scared of dealing with clients, and that's literally the last thing that you should work at, because if you have clients that just don't, clients are a lot like puppies. If you don't train them, the puppies are going to make accidents everywhere. So it's how you frame everything from the very beginning is how you are going to be successful with the clients afterwards. So what I've always done is try to find a way to streamline and build a system that handles clients flawlessly. So in other words, I decrease interaction with them. Generally, I like to set up my business, and what we teach inside of OMG is to have SEO client consulting run very much like a cable company or an electric company, which means is you don't even know that it's there when you pay your bill. You only need to ask questions if something's broken or if something's not working. If not, everything continues to work and move on. And that's what I wanted to build it off of. So with that, there's many different ways that you can get clients, and I know that what I hear from the majority of the people is fear of talking to people, fear of dealing with clients, and there's a number of different ways that you can engage in clients. One of them is if you have a full-time job right now, you're more than welcome to rank for a My City SEO position. And we can go to if you're in front of your computers right now, and if you want to look and just listen, you can go to St. Louis SEO or Tokyo SEO, which is the largest city in the world. I rank #1 for those. So what happens is that the calls start to come in from there. So if a business looks for a company, what they want to do is find one that is going to be ranking in these top positions. So what it is, it's kind of like a UFC cage match for city SEO. All of the agencies get in there and kind of battle it out. And I know you might be thinking, well, God, I'm not going to be good enough to fight all these people out. Well, sadly enough, with SEO, you're going to find that with the information that we have inside of OMG, that our information is far superior than any other agency that you're going to go up against. In every city that I've been up against with just the information that I was able to receive from Fletch, Joe, and Greg, and some of the other people that you're going to meet tonight, I've been able to take out agencies that employ as many as 150 people and maintain these rankings for well over a year. So with that, the information is what gives you the power. Then obviously you have to implement it. So the one way that you can get leads coming in, and this is a form of lead generation obviously, is a rank for, either if I live in Orlando, Florida, you could rank for Orlando SEO, Orlando Internet Marketing, Orlando Web Design, or any one of these. And once you don't even have to rank in the top positions. Just, on page 1, that's just enough to get credibility and to get the phone ringing. And then from there, you can easily go out and have your friends and family or someone else help you. You can hire someone on a commission-only basis, or just let your friends know to go out and bring in deals for you. I pay people about 20%. For anything that they bring in, or generally just maybe 30% of the first month for my friends and family that want to bring in deals to me. So when you look at that, one deal can obviously change the whole scope of your financial just income coming in. You can get a deal for as much as, I have one deal that's as much as $55,000 a month. Highly unlikely. And I'm not saying that that's normal or anything like that, but normal deals are anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month. And when you have that sort of income instantly coming in, and you would put your first month's income that you made back from that client back into your business, then the second month you're 100% profit, and then you can use that first month to literally bring on more clients and more clients and more clients. And what Mike wanted to talk about is the snowball method that I've developed, and then I'm going to give you one sales technique that I've been able to use to drive in clients very easily and non-aggressive. One thing that I don't like to do is come off as salesy or like I'm a used car salesman, which is what a lot of people hate to do. And so with that, how I've been able to bring in a lot of clients, and then I'm going to get to tell you how you can multiply your clients, is I've used something called SEO splitting, which I developed. And what that basically is there's a lot of business owners out there, and I'm just telling you guys, if you think that this market is saturated, you're sadly mistaken. There's more businesses than there are search engine optimization experts or firms or anything out there on a scale of probably about 1,000 to 1. So when you look at that, any business needs their essential profiles. They need a LinkedIn business page. They need a Facebook business page. They need Yelp. They need their Google business page up. These are vitally important for any business to be searched and found or to be credible on the internet. So what you do is simply offer to do one of these profiles and get them Google optimized. And notice I didn't say get them ranked on Google, get them Google optimized. In other words, you would put content in it that made their business look good, that matched the keyword that they were going after. If it was a plumber in Chicago where Mike is at, you would, just find an article that talked about plumbers, put that in there, deliver it to them for $19 or a 2-pack for $38. What that does is that's when the magic starts to happen. What happens is once money exchange hands, they're now your client. Now you have a business that their doors are open to you and they're able to listen to other ideas, and you've came back and provided and completed a service for them, and you could just say, hey, Jim, I'd like to discuss with you some other improvements that we can make on your website to just make your income explode. So what SEO splitting basically is an entry in the doorway into the business in a non-threatening way. Who wouldn't want to pay someone $19 to put up a very important business page that their customers can find them on? Yelp is extremely powerful. Google is extremely powerful for Google My Business. It's a no-brainer. The bottom line is these doctors, lawyers, or dentists, painters, or wherever else you get, that's what they're an expert at, being a doctor or a lawyer or anything else. They don't want to take the time to figure out how to set up a Facebook business page, even though that might be something that you know how to do easily, or that everyone always gets paralyzed by the details. And when you just come in and throw this page up and have it look amazing, put their logos on it, their pictures, all that other stuff, and it's going to take you about 15 minutes and deliver it to them. Then you come back to them and then you show them the power of search engine optimization. And show them, look, if you're on page 3, page 4 right now, page 2, here's what your competitors are making right now being on page 1. So when you show them this lost revenue or potential revenue that they could have come in by them getting to that position, it really strikes a chord with them. And it makes it very easy to get these deals in a very non-threatening way. So you're able to convert deals very quickly. You're able to either set up at a trade show, you're able to set up at a community fair, or you're like even able to start your own networking meeting and just tell people, hey, if you want to help with getting your business profiles up, we're going to have a meeting, and just show up and do that, and you can just spawn out from there. Once you get them as a client, one of the main things, as I said before, clients are like puppies. If you don't train a puppy right, puppy's going to make a lot of accidents. And, clients sometimes don't know how to be clients. They are used to doing one thing. They're business owners, giving orders and telling people what to do. So, when you go into a doctor's office, people generally already have it framed into a doctor's office that when you go there, you're not the expert. The doctor is. You sit back and you listen to what the doctor says. The doctor does tests. The doctor tells you what's wrong, and pretty much you ask questions, and then you let the doctor do what the doctor does best. You don't sit and argue with the doctor or question the doctor. Some people do because there's not great doctors, but you're framed from the moment that you walked in the door. So what we teach you how to do inside of OMG is how to frame your clients to where they don't need to reach out to you, that you've already told them what's going to happen every step of the way, and in between you're also letting them know that if they want to get their search engine optimization for free or at a discounted price, that if they want to refer people inside to you, that you're able to sign up. If they send you 3 people as referrals, that you do their SEO for free. So now what you've essentially done is you've turned respected business owners into the most powerful position that your company needs, which is a sales force. So what I've done with my business is I've turned all of my clients into a sales force that continues while I'm working on other projects and while I'm working on doing things for OMG and other stuff. They're continually working for me, finding people to bring clients into me so they don't have to pay for their SEO and save on their bill. And with that, once you get those other 3 people in, then you've got 3 more people with the possibility of doing that as well. If you do your SEO just like Greg Morrison teaches and Fletch and all of them in there, and you make your client happy and follow the back-end sequence of how we teach you how to handle clients, I literally have about 75% of all my clients send me referrals. You're not going to get every client to do it, but 75% is a pretty high amount. So when you look at it, if you sign a client for $4,000, and if you keep them for 6 months, that's $25,000 in your pocket. And then if they bring you 2 more people, now that's 75,000. And then if you keep branching out and keep snowballing it out and keep kind of spiraling out, the money just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. And that's one of the simplest ways. Obviously, if you're more aggressive, you're more than welcome to go out and go door to door with any business. And there's a lot more aggressive sales angles that we have that you can take. But this is probably the most simple and non-aggressive way that you can go out and easily get up to $10,000 a month. And think about it. If you're not at $10,000 a month right now, how great would that feel to make more than what you're making right now and have the flexibility to work from home, spend more time with your family, and actually grow that $10,000 into possibly $50,000. So that's kind of a brief explanation of my business, and I just gave you kind of a little tips about what like you could do once you get inside of OMG and how my business works. But I've been able to build this little business just with myself alone inside of OMG up to about $433,000 a month. And I'm not saying that that's typical, but, that's something that I know that you can easily get to $10,000 a month. So,
yeah, you've certainly helped a lot of people do that, and I know that literally very exciting listening to you say this stuff. And Fletch, an idea just blinked into my head, so I'd like to pursue with you and see if it's going to be possible. But so I don't forget, something that Vic wanted you to know, which is that. For those of you who are involved with his ebook training, getting rich with ebooks and so forth, that one of the most powerful things you can do is position yourself by getting a best-selling book on Amazon. Position yourself as a marketing expert, and that's something that some OMGers do, and it can be very, very powerful. One of our members named Alex does that with, I believe it's with plastic surgeons, and it's very, very, very powerful for getting clients with them. He's like a plastic surgeon marketing expert. He has a book on it, and of course you can make it a best-selling book. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to point that out, a little tip from Vic there. Fletch, I had an idea pop into my head as Cotton was kind of drawing up plays in the sand here. I got to thinking about that whiteboard that's over your shoulder, and I know that right now we can't necessarily make anything happen, but man, wouldn't it be cool? Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? Wouldn't it be cool if at some point we could like turn the webcam and have you like draw plays up? Can it happen? Dang.
Yeah, we might be able to make some work there, Mike.
You picking up what I'm putting down here?
I might have to take a picture of so I can recreate, but
yeah.
Yeah, we've got the potential there.
I just think it would be so cool if you would diagram for people, translate some of these words that we're getting out there and kind of diagram out. We actually have, this is something that just popped into my head because, I'm so excited. Fletch, I know you're excited. When you hear Cotton talk about this stuff, well, just about 6 months ago, Cotton pulled you aside. Cotton sees you as a mentor. He's said that to me. Obviously, you're a very, very successful man yourself in your own right. But the funny thing is, Cotton pulled you aside and gave you a few tips, and it's literally changed the way that you've done your business.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Cotton and I, we talked a lot on phone and email and Facebook and whatnot, kind of in his first year. But really, when we had our live event in Nashville last year, him talking about kind of what he does and really kind of just opening up to me a lot more about really the inside baseball of his strategy and kind of what his strategic advantages are. I really started kind of putting pieces together and opportunities together. So I came back home to Phoenix, which is where I live now, where I am now, and kind of started figuring out ways that I could really make the most out of what I like to do and what I seem to be pretty good at. So I put my head down and kind of it's weird to say I dug back in after kind of getting to the place where I was, which was a ridiculous amount of money every year, considering where I had been a year and a half earlier. But it really was that I kind of had to reinvent and re-envision what my potential was and where the most amount of value I could bring to my customers really would come from. So you know, at the end of the day, what I really came up with was kind of putting together an agency, and not just an SEO agency, but an agency that really specializes in marketing. Personally, you know, I think one of the things I tend to do well, or I like to do at least, is tell stories. And those stories are many times they seem to be able to move people to action in some way or another. I kind of hit on the fact that it becomes quite easy or natural if you can relate the value or the opportunity that you've seen from experience to somebody else who might not have seen that, who hasn't necessarily gone through that experience yet, through a natural experience, through a story, through something that you've done, or you can kind of connect the dots for somebody else. That's kind of how I approached, you know, what we call conversion in the online marketing world. You know, a sales professional would call it, you know, kind of closing, or, you know, their close rate or whatever. But, you know, for me, it's kind of just the way I communicate. And so I really kind of started formalizing that and putting it together with some stuff that Cotton showed me, and, you know, really opened up my potential for what I was doing already pretty well with, you know, the lead generation business that I had. I had a handful of search engine optimization clients that I took care of their websites on a monthly basis. But really my bread and butter was just kind of working on my own websites and generating phone calls. So I kind of started looking at the websites that were doing really well that I had, and putting it together with a model, like a sales model like Cotton talked about, where, you know, you really want to be able to control the whole frame of someone's experience, you know, like a utility company, where unless something's wrong, they don't call you. They just, you know, accept the fact that you're going to rebill. You know, you're going to send them another invoice at the end of the month. If your electricity stays on and you get a, you know, electricity bill and you can pay for it, you will. And so I kind of started looking at my business that way. So, you know, with the clients that I have, I tweaked some of that and made the most out of what I could. But I really started looking at kind of the internal projects that we manage within Search Explosion, which is the name of the company I have. And what it kind of turned into was the ability to really open up, you know, 5 to 10 times more business without really working that much harder. So, yeah, like I said, it's been some more work and kind of having to dig through and figure out some of my processes a little bit more definitively, you know, so that I could actually teach some other people how to do them and things like that. But it really has become a pretty cool situation where I get to work with some of my closest friends. I get to take care of even more businesses. I get to, you know, really work on stuff I care about and am, you know, I'm good at and I like to do every day. And it really, there isn't a ceiling on what we can do each and every month, which is pretty cool because, you know, I was kind of getting to a point where, you know, putting more work in was certainly possible, but there was more time away from my family. There was more time that, you know, I had to devote to stuff that maybe not as, you know, it wasn't as natural or as appealing to me to spend even more hours a day doing something that I didn't quite like as much. You know, really going back in and looking at it from a different lens or a different perspective, which, you know, kind of opened up, it let me get excited about this again. And that's pretty cool for me because, you know, looking back at my history, you know, my life, it's not my history, I guess it's my life, but I hopped around a lot, and there were a lot of things that I got into, I got pretty good at. I figured out a way to make money with. You know, I got to a position where, you know, people would kind of view me as, you know, somewhat successful. And then I kind of got bored to a degree. I wanted to find some new excitement. I wanted to find new challenges. I wanted to find an even bigger potential to not only make money, but really contribute to the people that I serve, that I took care of as customers or clients or whatever it might be. And that was really what was nice and what's been amazing within the world of kind of online marketing that I had no idea I would ever get into. Is that, you know, every iteration, every, you know, year or two or whatever it might be for you, you can kind of take a step back and look at really what you're good at and what you can do well, what you can do for other people and provide value to them, and take it to a whole other scale. That's something that I really didn't have in my life, in my professional career leading up to this. And you know, now I know what I'm doing now, and it's good and it's big, and there's a lot more I can do with it. But I've even identified a couple more steps that I can take after I, you know, accomplish kind of what I'm working on currently, so that, you know, there's the sky's the limit. You know, Cotton's making incredible amounts of money every month. I make incredible amounts of money every month compared to what I was doing before I, you know, got involved with OMG, and I kind of re-envisioned what I was doing with my construction company. But, you know, even, and Cotton will admit it too, you know, he knows where he is, he knows what he's doing, and he knows that when he gets to a certain point, he's going to have to kind of, you know, redefine his business model to get to that next place. But what's so cool about this is that's all possible. Cotton knows it. You know, he's like, yeah, I can, you know, probably get to this point, and then maybe I have to do something different. But doing something different is possible. When you have this skill set and you're really working in the biggest growth industry that there is, really the ability to get information or solutions out in front of people all over the world who are looking for, you know, answers. They're looking for a better way, and you can, you know, control and influence the information that they have available to them. This is the most powerful, the most influential, the most profitable place you can be. So, you know, we've got amazing training that I'm, you know, I've used. I've taken myself from 0 to 10,000 a month, and then, you know, from that place to 20 to 30 to, you know, over 50,000 now. It's a totally different life, but I can see $500,000 a month. I can see $1 million a month. I know what I need to do to get to those places, and it's exciting. It's nice to know that the more time I spend on this, and the more or the better I get at what I'm doing, which is essentially the ability to get solutions in front of people who are looking for it. You know, there's no cap, there's no ceiling that any of us have identified. You know, Cotton makes more money per month than anybody I know, and he knows that there's, you know, probably 10 times a month more than he could make, or than he's making currently. It's pretty cool. So I kind of went on a little bit of a rant and tangent there, but you know, for me, one of the things that's most exciting, or that feels as good as it does about being an OMG, is not only what we do, and there not really being an upside, or, you know, a cap on what we can do every month, but that there are people who are at a lot of these levels that can help you understand what you need to do to get to those places. For me, you know, before I got involved with OMG, I really didn't have people around me that were doing really well. You know, it was a bunch of construction workers, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're, you know, a lot of times great people, but, you know, they make somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 a year, and they work their asses off. You know, they knock off as early in the day as possible. They get their work done. They go drink some beers. They go home, watch TV, and they do it all again tomorrow. And hopefully, you know, by the time they get to the point where their body's beat up enough that they can't work anymore, they've got enough in the bank, or whatever else happened, that they're okay. This is a totally different, you know, path through life, And it's one that I try to talk to as many people about as I can, because I think it's a better way to go through life than the path most people are on. So yeah, that may have gone totally astray from what you wanted me to talk about, Mike, but it's kind of what was on my mind today. Some stuff that's happened last week that that made me kind of want to talk about that stuff. But yeah, if you want me to talk about anything more specifically, I'd love to.
I actually really enjoyed it myself, Fletch, so thank you so much. And yeah, if you wind up wanting to drop some plays on the whiteboard a little bit later on, just let us know and you can prepare that. We have just been joined by Greg Morrison, the guy who I call the first one-man gang. Greg, are you there right
now? I'm here. What's going on, Mike?
Not much, man. Today's event is, we're calling this the Webinar of a Lifetime Part 2, and what we're doing is we're connecting the dots, and towards the end we'll get a little bit into some money-getting fact or fiction, a little bit of Q&A, a little bit like we did last night on that crazy webinar. Greg, we've already connected some of the dots when it comes to what it looks like to do Cotton's style SEO client consulting, and we'll try to take that from a different angle a little bit later on to help people really get a clear picture of what it looks like. Joe came on before that and talked a little bit about how affiliate marketing works and how he maybe selects an offer on ClickBank and then puts it up and some stuff like that. What I'd like you to talk about is the process of SEO and connect the dots a little bit for people. So many people, they hear this word SEO, and it might be just kind of a total mystery to them as to what it is, what's going on with it. Of course, we have a whole mastermind coaching community surrounding this, so it's not like we can cover all of SEO in this brief period of time, but I think we can begin to connect the dots for people, and maybe have you talk about how it is that you've created this wonderful over-the-shoulder series with Joe for Iowa City SEO, and if you could talk about some of the things that you are doing behind the scenes to create it and kind of make it in a way that people can understand it, I think they would really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I mean, it starts with me being fortunate enough to be able to constantly just test and see what works, and it's been that way since the beginning. I'm just surrounded by people that are just so giving and do such a great job and just allow me to do my job, which is SEO research. So, I mean, it all starts there, but as far as SEO, I mean, it's basically, you got to understand it's an algorithm, and it's reading what you give them. So, if you put a keyword in your domain name, they're reading that, and they know that your domain is about that particular keyword. And just like if you set up a domain name, even if it's a brand name like, mikesite.com, then inner URL mentions a keyword, that helps them identify it, but that's not as strong as it being in the domain. And we have certain rules like this, and we go over an easy process. So some other things that they use to identify are things like title. Okay, so if keywords are in title, that helps them identify that your site's about that keyword, and you rank better for that. Same thing with content. Then the other side of that, that's all considered on page. The other side of that is links. Okay. Now, if you have links pointing to your website, particularly good links, we show you how to do that as well, then you're going to get credit from another website. Okay, so when another website links to your website, they're giving you credit, which helps you rank better. Now, the text that they use to send to your website, so what that text says to that link, so if that link says OMG Machines, it's going to help you rank better for OMG Machines. If that link says Mike Long, it's going to help you rank better for Mike Long. But again, there's a process involved where you have to understand proper optimization. Because many years ago, you could go out and build 1,000 links, like crappy type, spammy type links. They could all say Mike Long, and you would rank well for Mike Long, right? But now it's very slowly changed over time. We're able to keep up with these changes because of the time that these guys allow me to do research, and over time, that number has gone down because it gets to a naturalness, right? If you have 1,000 links, what are the chances that 1,000 people are going to have that anchor text of Mike Long? Virtually none, right? It's coming from 1,000 different people. So Google is really it's a probability based algorithm, and Mike Long is something that might be more 1 to 10%, depending how many searches it gets. So it's really as easy as coming in and understanding optimization as far as what to do with your URL. Okay, that's your domain name or your inner URL, that whole URL string, the internet address you can call it. What to do with your title and your content, because again, like in your content, if you mention Mike Long 100 times out of 1,000, that's over optimization. So little rules like that. And then the other side is just finding out how to get these links, which is actually an easy process, and then using the correct anchor text for those links so you're not over optimized. And once you do that, I mean, once you have that formula, you can rank for whatever you want. And that's why so many people are successful. We broke it down to an easy formula, and pretty much anyone can follow it once you learn those basic things.
Greg, you've helped so many people have such incredible success with learning search engine optimization. You've boiled it down for people where these days I say that learning from you is a lot like learning to operate a smartphone. Then learning SEO from you again is a lot like learning to operate a smartphone or something like that. I think that Greg may have been. Oh, okay, he's back.
Getting more.
What's that?
I was getting more light on.
Okay, great. But anyways, so can you give people an idea of what your background is? Are you a scientist, or like how did you get so good at this stuff?
Again, I think it just starts with the people I got around me. It's just a bunch of good people who work very hard at what they do as well. Like you, Mike, you do so many things. I mean, Cotton does a lot of client stuff. Fletch does everything. I mean, everyone, the way our community's set up, it's set up where I can concentrate on SEO solely. That's what I love to do, and that's why it works so well. But to me, it's like a game. I get to go in, make little adjustments here and there, see where things move. And to me, it's like so much fun to just see what adjustments do what, and then just report to the community. So, I mean, I think it just starts with the structure we have in place that allows me to test nonstop all day, every day. I don't think that happens anywhere else. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, Fletch has got something set up. We're going to try something a little experimental. We'd like to try new things at OMG. And the first thing Fletch is going to do is walk us through Cotton's kind of client getting thing, and then maybe Fletch, we're getting a little bit of feedback when my speaker's on and somebody else is speaking. So maybe Fletch, maybe you can interact with Cotton, and then maybe interact with Greg, and kind of draw up, sort of draw up the plays in the sand here that these guys are using to have so much success. You think you could do that?
I'll give it a shot, Mike. Yeah, we'll see how this kind of works. We might have some glare. I've got this really cool black and white going on, but color would be better. I can't remember how to go back to color now. So, for me, I'm not sure how much this is going to show up. Let's go ahead and try to screen share. This is a little bit of my client turnover stuff. I can erase this and go into kind of what Cotton's talking about and some other kind of money-getting models. But really for me, I focus on construction stuff. That's what I used to do before I got into OMG. And this is my attempt at drawing a water heater, which tends to break a lot of times, and people need it to be repaired. So, when you've got a broken water heater, you tend to call a repairman that's going to come out and do this kind of thing. So I focus on not only repairing things, but upgrading them. So a typical water heater will get repaired for about $500. I would rather repair and upgrade that to a solar water heater, which is about $5,000. But because of rebates and incentives and all that other kind of thing, it tends to be worth about $5,000 to the contractor. So the contractor is actually going to get paid a lot more money than they typically would based on a repair job on a regular water heater. So when somebody's water heater breaks, they're going to pick up the phone and call somebody to repair it. Or they're going to say, oh, you know what, honey, we should look into a solar water heater and see what that's all about. So I rank for water heater repair, solar water heaters, a bunch of different keywords in that industry. So if you're in a city that I tend to promote in, you're going to find my websites. The websites have a phone number on them that I actually own. That phone number is going to actually ring through my database. I get a record of it. That record is going to be what I actually bill on. That's my invoice trigger. So if you call, 602 blah 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 blah, it's going to go through my call tracking software. I'm going to know about it. That's my call tracking up here. But it's going to ring directly through to my clients, my customers. So the person who's calling does not know that they're going through my phone number. They just actually connect through and talk to my customer. My customer's happy because he has a phone call. It's a phone call that's valuable. It's somebody that wants to have something repaired or upgraded. They're going to make a lot of money on it. So we keep track of that. So they go out and they fix the thing, right? So they get paid, and because this call happened, I get paid. And then the cycle all happens over again. So I've been able to take that model and really scale it up. It's been kind of the basis of what I do, and kind of what I've created within OMG as far as like a pay-per-lead model. It's very simplified. We have all the moving pieces kind of identified, outlined. Joe Marfolio, who was on the call earlier, he and I do things very, very similarly, but it's something that when you do it right, you don't have clients that are continually calling you. There's not a lot of client involvement. You essentially are able to just do what Cotton talked about earlier, which is act as like a utility company. You send them a bill, they send you money, and you keep those calls coming in. So I took the headphones out of my ears here, so hopefully people are able to actually see that and kind of understand it. If that didn't work at all, I'm going to find out real quick when I'm able to hear kind of some feedback on that thing. But if we want to jump into kind of some other business models that work with search engine optimization, I'd be happy to kind of I like drawing pictures even if they aren't all that good. So we'll see how that turns out. Cotton, you there? Anybody hear me?
Muted.
How's my artwork, dude?
Still muted, Cotton.
Oh, there we go. I've got so many buttons on Yetis and all this other stuff. It's like flying a spaceship. No, it's coming through very clear. Okay. Coming through clear. I like it. Is that a beer can, or I'm trying to figure out? No.
Yeah, this one? No.
Yeah.
There's a beer can over here, but not on there.
Oh, okay.
If people's beer cans are broken, I will be happy to take care of that as well. Yeah.
Great. No, I'm like sorry, I missed your question. I was doing a little bit of SEO in the background.
No, it's all good, man. Totally. Yeah, I kind of, I've never used a whiteboard live on these things. I've kind of thought about it before, but kind of one of the things I like to be able to do is kind of show people as much as possible what it looks like. I think demonstration is kind of one of the mother skills as far as being able to teach people. Greg is amazing at it as far as teaching people how to build websites and rank them. This is one of my first attempts at a live demonstration of kind of what a money getting cycle would look like for one of the ways that we get organic traffic. So.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I've actually never taken the time to actually write down my process down. So seeing you do it's very, very interesting and makes me want to kind of write down my process as well, just to see what it would look like. It's just all up here and talked about, but never in a diagram like that.
Well, and actually, interestingly, Cotton, I was hoping that we could try to work together as a team here to try to kind of draw up the plays in the sand. You described your incredible SEO snowballing process, where you're acquiring one client. You gave the example of SEO splitting, and then training them and helping them really be comfortable and relaxed in the proper role where they're going to make the most money, and then literally turning one customer into 3 customers into 7 and so on. And I'm hoping that maybe you and Fletch can work together to a little bit try to diagram things. We don't need to make it perfect, but I really want to try to connect the dots for people as much as possible. I thought about it before this event, how we could do that, kind of create a vision board that really makes sense for people and where they can really follow along, because the things that we're doing are not too complicated. They're not too difficult. Once you understand them, in fact, that's part of the magic of things. But of course, critical element is really being able to visualize things. So Fletch, perhaps you can just kind of work with Cotton a bit, back and forth and diagram things. Of course, Fletch has a very good understanding of Cotton's process as well.
Great. I think we're going to find out a new skill of Fletch is he's actually was a street artist for 4 years in Colorado. Let's see.
Okay, Fletch is drawing things up. So again, the basics, the basis of what Cotton's doing is, first of all, he's recognizing that he is a lot like a lawyer would be or a doctor would be. He's a trained professional in a field where his clients, A, desperately need help, but B, really don't know what it is that Cotton's going to do. They know they need Cotton's help. They don't know how they're going to get help by him. When I was 16 years old, I blew out my shoulder and really hurt it, and I needed to get shoulder surgery, and I didn't know how that doctor was going to do this. It was actually an arthroscopic surgery where they had to use a camera and all this stuff, and I have no idea. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. So as Cotton pointed out, I didn't walk in there and tell him what to do or how to do it. In fact, I was under anesthesia. So Cotton has a process. He calls it his velvet ropes process, and as best as he can right now, Fletch is trying to kind of draw up a sort of a physical enactment of what this process looks like. And this is a process that Fletch himself has started adopting and has really, really exploded his income, which is I think particularly exciting. So maybe we can all work together as a team and we at OMG we're you're really learning from the people that are in the trenches, boots on the ground, having success doing this right now. So what we're best trying to do is explain to you what it is that we're doing every day. For example, I'm in an office that's loaded with all kinds of Amazon tools and materials and even products that are set up to my side, and maybe we'll get into that in a little while as well. So Fletch, what have you drawn up for us here?
I think he's still on mute. I think you're still muted, Fletch. There we go.
There it is. Aha.
There it is.
Got this fancy microphone figured out. So one of the things that Cotton really does brilliantly, not only himself, but actually teaches incredibly well. A lot of times when you're in a kind of a consulting business and you are able to provide a service to customers, sometimes you're going to find the perfect customer, but that customer, for whatever reason, is unable to pay the rate that they should for what you can provide them. So what Cotton did was he does this incredibly well in a lot of different ways. What he did was say, okay, I don't want to hit a dead end. If I'm putting work in and I'm finding the right people, I want to make sure that those right people turn into paying clients that bring me even more business. So what he did was he said, if I find that right customer that fits my business model, that needs my services, that understands the value in my services, I'm going to turn those into a customer as well as a salesperson at the same time. And so what he does is, he'll turn one client prospect into really an engine that drives the rest of his business. And so he'll say, okay, I'll take you on as a customer. I know you may not be able to pay me, transactionally for what we do, like dollar-wise, but I'll do your SEO for you if you bring me a given number of referral clients that become customers of mine. So this guy that Cotton's very good at identifying and actually teaches us how to identify as well will go out and become just the ultimate salesman for you. They already understand your value. They know how incredibly it will benefit your business to become, you know, somebody at the top of the search engines for the most profitable keywords in your industry. And they'll go out and actually get a bunch of clients that you never would have encountered before just because of their network, their experience, their excitement about being able to become a client. They're excited about becoming a client, so they're going to go sell your services for you. And so they're going to bring you, you know, maybe 2 other paying clients, and then maybe another client that is in kind of the same boat, that maybe is the perfect client except for the fact that for whatever reason they're unable to pay. But this guy is the same as this guy. And this guy is going to go out and generate a bunch more referral clients for you as well. And so Cotton's able to take, you know, bringing one customer in, one potential customer in, that for everybody else might not be ideal, and turn that client into 6 clients that are all paying. This one client is super happy because he has these services essentially for free based on his own skill set, his own network of putting together all these other, you know, paying customers. He continues to be happy. He's going to continue to refer clients back to Cotton this entire time. Well, at the same time, Cotton gets 6 clients he never would have gotten in the first place that are also all happy with what Cotton does, and he can go to them and say, hey, you know, I know you're happy with what we do. You've gotten a lot of business from us. We put you at the top of the search engines. If you want to get a discount on next month's, you know, SEO fees, bring me a couple more referrals. And so Cotton grows his business not only by getting in front of more customers with his organic search engine rankings, but he turns his clients, or potential clients even, into salespeople for him, which is incredibly valuable. It's what he's used in large part to grow his agency to the size it is. And it's one of the things that we've been able to do, not really specifically with SEO clients, but with lead generation clients, to really grow what we do each and every month.
Very, very thorough explanation. I don't think I could have done any better myself.
Yes.
One of the things.
I'm a good student, Cotton. I'm a good student.
One of the things that I want to talk about is we can go back to the very beginning of this. So let's just look at what Fletch has said is the middle piece. I want to take you guys to the very beginning, which is the gasoline that fuels all of this. One of its being is you can ask yourself, there are 2 types of clients that are going to come in. One is going to be a client that knows it has an issue, and one's going to be a client that doesn't know that they have an issue. Because what's going to happen is there's either someone coming in for referral, they're going to say they don't need that, what Fletch has up on the board. So what I do is, I don't want to get too detailed in this, but every decision that we make in life is based on 3 pillars, which is pleasure, pain, and comfort. And what makes us make the fastest decision more than anything is being in pain. If you went to the doctor and he told you that you had a illness or if you had cancer and you felt great, you're going to be highly motivated to do whatever the doctor says to get rid of it. And there's so many businesses walking around right now that truly believe that they're in a very good place right now, but they are not placed in any pain to see where they're at. So if you have a doctor, a plastic surgeon, or a dentist, or I'm just using them as an examples, that are not on page 1, and you show them this lost revenue, that they're not getting into their business because they're not on that page 1, and you show them how, you know, Jim Dennis number 1 and Dave Dennis number 2, well, these number 2 positions are making all this more money than them. It creates pain, and it creates an issue for them and a problem that they've never had before. It's a very easy sale. It isn't something that you have to push. It's just a matter of a simple, here, look, here's how much money they're projected to make off being in this number 1 position in Google. Here's how much money you're losing by not being there. Here's why Dennis Dave is making this much money and sending his daughter to school. Here's why you're going to have to work twice as hard, and why they're not even working as hard to make as much money as you. So then there's people that know that they have an issue, that know that have pain, that reach out to you. Those are the easiest ones to close because you have the solution or the cure to their pain. Then they'll make those decisions quickly. But generally, when I go through and when we teach in OMG, and when you show people the pain in their business and how they're losing all this money, and when you get that why, and we teach you how to do that also. I ask specific questions, and we have specific questionnaires that we give to these business owners so we can get vital information to find out what we can do for them. When they say, I would like to get 31 more clients a month, that's a pretty specific number. Why are you saying 31? And so you would just go and go, 31 is a pretty specific number. Why is that so important to you? And you go, well, I've did my numbers, I've did my books, and I know that if I get 31 more clients a month and can maintain that, I'll have enough money to put, Molly, my daughter, through the private school for the next 10 years. And that's what I want to do. So at this point, I'm no longer selling SEO. And I don't really even say SEO when I sell. I'm selling getting Molly through private school. And when you show him, look, here's how much money we can get by being in this #1 position to get Molly in private school, then it becomes personal. It's also a position of pain because he wants to provide this for his family member. It also helps him, and it also makes you feel good. There's one of the things that I really love about doing search engine optimization is you're really going out and helping people, and you're changing people's lives, and you're changing yourselves as well. And what I've learned being inside of OMG, the more people that you change, the more businesses that you change, the more successful you become, and it's great. I mean, it's the first time that I've actually felt great about being in a business, when you can truly, genuinely go out and impact people's lives, put smiles on their faces, and it feels good. It feels clean. You can go to bed at night feeling great. So helping people get their children through private schools or college, or another vacation, or just expanding their business, fulfilling people's dreams is really all we're doing. And we have an edge that can't be taught anywhere else. And that's what makes OMG so powerful, is you can't go out and get a bachelor's degree in it. You can't go out and get a master's, or you can't get a PhD in this. It's not taught anywhere else. So in essence, if you really want us to be honest with you, this is the only SEO university in the world. There's no other training course that I know of that has as many SEOs assembled in one place that teaches how we do this to change people's lives and businesses, as well as yourself as well. So what I want you to take away from this is, if this seems complicated, it really isn't. We make it seem a whole lot simpler. And if you've never been comfortable with sales, nor have I. I just wanted to do something that was obvious. And, that's why doctors are so successful, because when there's something wrong, you go to the doctor and he cures it. And there isn't very many places that businesses can go to and look for help. It's almost like a business hospital, where a business can go and say, hey, look, we're healthy, but we know that we can do better. Or, hey, we think we're sick. What do you prescribe and what can you do? The good news is we're the doctors to prescribe and get them that extra visibility, that extra people coming into their website that can alter their business and change their lives. So that's the beginning of it. And then once you get that and put it with what Fletch showed you, it literally becomes a very powerful engine of sales. And we just kind of briefly went over it, but we even give hours of detail about how to take what Fletch showed you and even move it all the way back through to where even when you're done with your clients, or you keep them on as clients, whichever you prefer, they're consistently sending you referrals. Because also, look at it this way. I give 30% of anyone, once I'm done with a client, they're still sending me clients because they like me. I just send out an email and they send me clients. I give them 30% of the first month. So by them just, going out and keeping their ears open and them send me a referral and I send them a check for, $5,000, $7,000, why not? I mean, it's just money that they can go out, take their wife out to, take their girlfriends out to, or put it back in the business, or get another computer for their secretary or something, just by simply referring people back to me. So everything's about framing things up front And this is how we've built businesses. Generally, by just knowing SEO, it can be very, very, very powerful. But if you add all of these weapons with it, you literally become a money-producing machine that's unstoppable. And after we've showed you right now, you'd have to admit it's pretty impossible for you not to get to $10,000 a month, even if you're only going to charge $1,000 a month. And $1,000 a month is only $250 a week. And guys, let's face it, with minimum wages prices going up everywhere to $15 an hour, there are people that are at the Taco Bell drive-thru right now serving you a burrito that are making more money than $250 a week. Business owners know that. It's a skill that we have. That's why we can charge as much as we do. So when you look at something like that, if you don't think that with what we teach you, you can go out and at least get 4 clients at around $2,000 a month, which literally only comes out to $500 a week, that's still what a fry cook would make at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or wherever at $15 an hour. If you don't think you can get that from a business owner to transfer their business around, then I'm telling you, you can. I know you can because we do it all the time. 4 clients, $8,000 a month. If you're not making $8,000 a month right now, this is exactly how you can get it, and that's the low-end scale. We have people like Fletch who are making well over $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. Greg, we won't even talk about that. He's well over $100,000 a month, probably even $200,000 a month. You know, a lot of people don't need that much money. We'll tell you that we do because we're getting it. But just imagine how something is $10,000 a month could change your life by just doing something simple. And instead of you getting someone else rich, getting someone else put the money back to you and them giving a fraction of what you're doing for all your hard-earned work, now all that money's going back to you and your family. You don't have to have anyone tell you when you can take off to spend time with your children. And you get to watch your family grow up and do the things that you enjoy doing. And that's what OMG is all about. So Fletcher, Mike, if you have anything else you want to go back to about that, that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. And I think Fletch did an amazing job explaining all that.
I think that was an epic rant by Cotton Grammar. I know that a lot of people were really moved by Cotton. I absolutely love it. I'm actually going out to see Cotton tomorrow in Orlando, and I cannot wait. Fletch, let's get back to one of the ways that Greg makes so much money, which is affiliate marketing. Joe touched on this earlier today. Can you, while I kind of talk things up for a second here, do you think you can prepare an affiliate marketing diagram? Something pretty simple that would include, let's say, choosing a product, let's say making up a web page or a website to promote the product or a video or something like that. You know, we then do an SEO process to get visitors. So we're going to talk about SEO next, and then how that kind of turns into money, and you do your best to draw something up like that. And I'm going to talk while you do that. I'm going to talk about affiliate marketing. Does that work for you?
I'll see what I can do, buddy.
Great. Okay. So all right. So here's what affiliate marketing is, and we're going to let Fletch is going to take some time there to draw something on the magic whiteboard. Affiliate marketing is something that's really taken root on the internet. When I first started my first business, I mean, going back 20 years ago, actually, almost at this point, maybe 18 years ago at this point, it was a brick and mortar store, and in order to make money, we needed to do more than just get people to come in the door and sell them something. We had to have product to sell them. In this case, it was a game store, so I had to have game pieces, game cards, and we would try some different things. We tried to sell comic books. That didn't go very well. We tried to sell video games. That didn't go very well. But anyways, so we tried different things, and some things did. Some things did go very well. Magic and Pokemon cards and so forth went very well for us. So anyways, when it comes to affiliate marketing, this is really special because we can make money with just getting the visitors in part, and we don't even have to necessarily do much selling of those visitors. In many cases, we can just sort of pre-sell them, help them be a little bit disposed to making a purchase, and then pass them on to the owner of the product, the person who's invented this product, whether it's a physical product like got some Bluetooth headphones here. So if it was, let's say we were selling these Bluetooth headphones on Amazon.com, then we might have a review site and say, I looked around and or a review site or a review page or even a review video. It could be like this one right here where I said, well, if you imagine I'm doing a review video right now, I could say, hey, my name's Mike. I've been looking around at different options for Bluetooth, and I selected these, whiz-bang headphones right here, the Bluetooth headphones. I wanted Bluetooth because I have an iWatch, so the iWatch, there's no physical connection for me to connect the headphones. Wanted Bluetooth. Besides, if I'm on my computer or something like that, it's nice to be able to get up and walk around and not have to be kind of plugged in. So Bluetooth. So I bought these Bluetooth headphones, and I went to the store, tried a few different ones. I went over to the Apple store. I tried the Beats. They were pretty good. You even read some other reviews, and there were definitely some good things about it. I personally found that with my iPhone, I had some trouble connecting it. So then I tried the Skull Candy ones, and the connection was good, but the sound was a little bit off. With these whiz-bang ones, I personally found the sound was a little bit better, and the ease of use was really there. And plus, plus it has special whiz-bang technology. You can, have telepathy and flip things around the room. I don't know. Obviously, at that point, I'm being a little silly, but anyways, it's a review. And then let's say at the bottom of the video could be a link for somebody to go to a website. But the point is, I'm not selling. That's more of a review. It's not really a sell. I don't have to be salesy. I don't have to be particularly slick or have like the most brilliant thing to say. Mostly what I'm trying to do is be a bit of a matchmaker and pass somebody on to the thing that we're selling. And again, it doesn't have to be a physical product. It could be like an ebook on ClickBank on how to get your ex back, or Vic has got some stuff on diabetes and some of the ways that he's actually helped his son get well and reverse the using a special diet to reverse the symptoms and so forth. And so that could be something that you could sell and so on. So that's the basic premise. It's a basic idea behind affiliate marketing. What we're doing is we're using our free traffic skills that Greg's going to talk about in a little minute. We're going to try to diagram that up as well. But we're getting leads from Google onto our whether it's a website or web page or video or something like that, and then we're including our special affiliate link, and then from that affiliate link, and it sounds complicated. It's not. It's just a copy and paste. You just have to know the right place to go to. You copy and paste your link in, and then that's it. And it's live. And you can start making money. So that's the basic fundamental behind it. And I'm going to let we like to try to teach with different angles, especially since we're right here trying to connect the dots. So I'm going to let Fletch take it from here.
Okay, Mike, let's see what I can do. After listening to your description, I had to introduce the word whiz-bang into finding the right product. It needs to be a whiz-bang product. But, on that note, you kind of start with an understanding or an idea about something that people might, they might want for some reason, whether it's solving a problem they have or just kind of closing the gap of the life they have to the life they want or whatever it might be. So that kind of comes into researching keywords, understanding what people might be looking for on the internet who have a particular problem or challenge or issue in their life that they want to fix. So they go to the internet and they type in something like best wireless headphones. So if they're going to the internet and typing in best wireless headphones, in all likelihood they want to buy headphones and they want to make sure that they're getting one that other people have used and are saying, well, these are the best ones that I've experienced. Maybe I bought a couple other ones, they didn't work so well. These are the best ones, things like that. So once you kind of understand whether or not people are looking for those products, you essentially find a product that people are saying, oh yeah, that's the right one to buy. Now, whether that product is on Amazon, whether it's a generic product that you might be able to have sourced and produced and you can put your own label on and sell on Amazon yourself, whether there is some kind of information product like an ebook or a guide that will take people through the process of doing something the right way or better than other people. That's a product you can sell as well. For me, there's a lot of physical products as well as services that I sell, whether it's a solar water heater or solar panels or insulation or whatever it might be. Those are all things that are products that I sell. So essentially, once you found that whiz-bang product, then you can build out a website. And so this is, we go through the training on all this. Greg has been amazing with putting together kind of tutorial videos, over-the-shoulder videos, where you get to see every move he makes, every click of the mouse or every keystroke in all of these steps. But once you get to the point where you're actually building a website, you're building a video or whatever it might be, the one thing you have to start to think about is, there's somebody who wants value out of this. What value are you going to provide? So we talk about kind of the best ways to provide that value. One of those is with a review website. So Greg is absolutely incredible. He's one of the best marketers I've ever seen. When you listen to him on these videos, he's so down to earth and so real. That's one of the things that makes him so powerful. You don't have to be like some crazy, slick and polished. I mean, I'm wearing a freaking t-shirt and gym shorts right now. You just have to be real, transparent. You have to provide value, and everybody here can do that. You've maybe bought something or experienced something. You can talk about it to a degree. You don't have to do it on video. You can do it on a video. I like video, but you can write an article. You can just put together some kind of comment or whatever it might be to actually give somebody who is searching for these keywords an idea of what they can expect if they buy that product. So if they buy that product, they are going to experience really high sound quality on their headphones. They're not going to get any static with the wireless connection. The battery life is going to be such and such. Maybe the drawback is they're kind of heavy, and if you wear them for a long period of time, your neck might get sore, or they're kind of tight, the spring or something that kind of hurts your ears after a long period of time. You give them an honest impression, but if that's what they want to buy, at this point, so we've already ranked. I'll go back on this point. At this point, what you've done is provided one of these affiliate links. And so if they click through to buy that product, you make a sales commission. SEO is really kind of about being a salesperson without being salesy. You don't have to be salesy. You can, but you don't have to be. You really just have to provide value. One of those values, one of the biggest pieces of value we can provide is just getting in front of people when they're looking for something. And so that kind of comes back to this ranking website. This is one of the really core competencies that we work on instilling and training and teaching within OMG, search engine optimization. So as long as you can get your website or your offer, your article, your video, your Amazon product, whatever it might be, in front of somebody that's looking for a solution to their problem, you're going to have a chance to have them click through on your link, and you're going to make money with it. And they're going to be happy. I could draw a little happy face here because these two things equal each other. With SEO, you're making people happy, and you're earning money at the same time. And that's what's incredible. It's why I can spend so much time on this every day. It's why Cotton Can, it's why Mike and Greg, Joe Marfolio, all of us can spend so much time, is because what we're doing is we're connecting people who have a problem with a solution. And we get to make a profit on that. So, that's kind of the affiliate model. As long as you make sure you get that whiz-bang product, then you're all good. But, one of the things that I really like about SEO, whether it's selling affiliate products or physical products or just, selling phone calls, is that, I only make money when people are happy about the product they bought. So, as long as you do this right, which we teach and train you how to do, your life's going to be better, and you're going to make money based on how many people you make happy, how many people's lives you improved. So, for me, it's one of the reasons that I got into this. It's one of the reasons I want to stay in this. It's one of the reasons I want to train more people how to do this, because it lets me help people who are our members improve their lives by making the lives of their customers better.
That was just a tremendous explanation. I wanted to give Greg the opportunity. We're going to transition over. I wanted to give Greg the opportunity. He's got affiliate websites that are making sometimes 6 figures a month in sales, just extraordinary stuff. Greg, how are you choosing your what Fletch is calling whiz bang product? What products? What kind of products have you been going after?
Yeah, for me, it's always been about what I'm having experience with in my life, or what I'm passionate about. One of my biggest niches I've done millions in is e-cigarettes, and 3 years ago I was a smoker, and e-cigarettes was what got me to quit. So that's what got me into that niche. Was I knew these worked for me, so I knew they could work for other people as well. I mean, quitting smoking is a big deal. I mean, that can change your whole life around. That can prevent you from getting cancer, which can make you be around longer from your family. So that's something I'm really passionate about, is helping people quit smoking. But at the same time, like Fletch said, I can also make money doing it. So, I'll put up these websites about e-cigarettes, I still do, and make just reviews on products, okay? So when people are going and searching for stuff like best electronic cigarette or certain electronic cigarette brands, stuff like that, then I'm giving them reviews, okay? So and I'm giving them, what Fletch said is very important. In affiliate marketing, you want to be honest. Too many people, they'll do affiliate stuff and they try to sell. Don't try to sell, just be honest. Like, I'll say, look, this cigarette has a great pull to it. You really feel it in your chest, but the cartridges go pretty fast. So if you're more concerned with conserving your money, you may want to go with this brand who, the pull isn't as good on your chest, but the filters last a lot longer. If you're someone who likes that pull in your chest, you can go with that product. If you're someone who's more worried about money, you want longer lasting cartridges, you can go with the other product. So the way I look at it is I'm giving them an honest opinion, letting them choose after my advice, and I'm giving them the best chance of quitting smoking. If they get the product that fits them the best, then that's going to help them quit smoking the best. And in the process, I'm making money. So, with affiliate marketing, I've always done that. Any type of marketing, really, is just be honest. Here's the ups, here's the downs. Make your decision. I'm just here to help you make your decision, because I enjoy making people healthier. That's just something I enjoy doing. So my big secret to affiliate marketing has just been doing things that I have experience with. And a lot of people say, well, I'm not into e-cigarettes. You can do anything. I mean, if you go on ClickBank and look at products, I mean, we know there's someone in our community who's done hundreds of thousands of dollars from a product that tells women how to get men to marry them, okay? There's products out there that teach you how to build a deck. There's products out there that teach you how to properly garden. I mean, there's products on everything. So anything that you're passionate about, you can 99.9% do with affiliate marketing somehow. And that's my best recommendation on where to start. Just something you're passionate about. That way you don't get bored. You know what you're doing. Like when I was doing e-cigarettes, I used to send e-cigarettes to my house. Like once I started making sales, I'd be like, hey, can we send our new product to you? Sure. I'll do a video review on it. I'll review it. I'll help people make a decision. And that was something I enjoyed doing because, again, I was into e-cigarettes. That's something that helped me quit. Now, if I was like doing Barbies and I was getting sent Barbies, I'm like, hey, check out this Barbie. She stands up all by herself when her feet are right. That's not something I'm into. I'm going to quit that very, very quickly. So just pick stuff that you're passionate about to start with, and from there, I've gotten keywords that kind of connect to what I'm with that I know make a lot of money, and I'll do it more, probably more for the money for those particular keywords, but they root off they start with what you're passionate about, and it kind of grows from there. Like you see what makes money, you can kind of grow it into other things. So that's my advice. Go with something you're passionate about, be truthful, and that's a big key to affiliate marketing.
Great, thank you very much, Greg. I think that people are really enjoying this. I'm getting a number of emails in. By the way, where's my little you can send your emails to omg@omgmachines.com. A couple of the other guys, Fletch and Cotton, have that written on their thing as well. omg@omgmachines.com. Folks are really, really enjoying this event. What I want to do now is connect the dots when it comes to how this actual free traffic stuff is working. What is it that we're doing at least at the high level, to turn our websites and our web pages into being the ones that Google's going to pick. You know, they're going to pick something for any given keyword. For the keyword, you know, energy bar, you know, or you know, energy bar for runners, let's say. You know, they're going to pick something. For you know, best quality e-cigarette, they're going to pick something. For you know, best coffee, or it doesn't have to be the word best, of course, but you know, for you know, whatever it is, you know, for let's say noise canceling, whatever it's, Bluetooth headphones, you know, whatever the keyword is, water damage, you know, Franklin, Tennessee. So you know, somebody gets water damage, Google's going to pick some website to be number one. Why not have it be your website or your client's website? And so we're going to talk about that next. I'm going to give you the basics. I'm going to talk through the basics of how search engine optimization works. This is something that I've been doing in one fashion or another since 1998, which is actually the year that Google incorporated. So I've been in the game for a long time, and you know, really the fundamentals of it actually have been surprisingly similar. But there's been some fine-tuned adjustments that have really changed the game. And that's something that Greg is extraordinary at. So it's wonderful to have him on the session today. So I'm going to do a little bit of a physical demonstration. Of course, Fletch has got his whiteboard, so I'll be able to do something better. If we imagine that this computer that I'm holding up here, this is a MacBook Air, but if we imagine that this is our website or our web page, kind of a physical representation of it, then fundamentally what we're going to do is we're going to want to set this up so you probably can't see it too well, but there's words right here. So these words, let's say this is the title of our website, and then some of the stuff that's written on our website here, you know, could be, you know, other words and so forth. Then, you know, there's going to be some stuff that we're going to do to set up the title to signal to Google, you know, what this website's about. If this is actually, let's actually think of this not so much as a website, but actually just a web page. So a web page, a website can have many of these web pages. This could be a web page that's for, let's say I'm in Chicago and I'm trying to rank for, let's say I have an advertising agency in Chicago, and one of my pages is about web design. So this could be the web design page. And so this could be, you know, mikelong.com/web design. And so, you know, that's the URL of the page, you know, what you'd actually type in to get there. So we want that to say the right things. We want the title to say the right things. And we want, you know, our keyword to be on the page. So that would be set up correctly. And then from there, we would want another, you know, website or web page, that could be this one right here, to have a link going that directs people to mikelong.com/web design. So this could be a Facebook page even that we make up ourselves, or this could be somebody else's website. This could be a website that we have, but it's a different web page that has a text link on it, a hyperlink on it, the kind of you click on, and you clicked on to come to this webinar today, and it links to this web page. And if we do that in the right way, and we kind of tune that, it might take one link, it might take several links, but we're going to rank. So that's the quick and dirty. I want people to kind of understand this process. Fletch, what do you have written up there on the magical whiteboard?
Okay, so yeah, another little quick and dirty here on, whoops, I just knocked over something behind me. Anyway, so, you know, what Mike was talking about, this will be different for every keyword. So if you're trying to rank for water heater repair in Phoenix, or if you're trying to rank for how to get my boyfriend to marry me, those are going to be different situations. And so those keywords are very important. That's the commonality between kind of all of our SEO and what we do. But what you've got is your website. So that's the website you set up that you're trying to, you know, create some kind of transaction on. That transaction is going to be a sale. It's going to be somebody signing up on your email list. It's going to be somebody filling out some information on a form and submitting it, whatever that might be. So we call that our money website. That money website is really what we want to have rank in the search engines, okay? So that's kind of the common basis of everything that we're doing. Now, in order to get that to work, in order to get that to rank for that given keyword, what we need to have happen is to set up this website in the right way. So we need to have the proper on-page setup. That's something Greg talks about. He teaches incredibly well. We've got tons of videos on exactly how to do that, so that you make sure that it's easy for Google to understand what your website's about, but you're not over-optimized at the same time. So you're in that sweet spot. You know, you're right in the middle of not making it hard for Google to understand what you're doing, but also not being spammy and not just blasting that keyword too many times, okay? So he talks about that, the right way to do it. We set all our websites up the same way, kind of follows those guidelines and rules. From there, we make use of sites that are called PBNs. It's a private blog network. Those are other sites that we own, okay? Those sites we put articles on or put pieces of content on that point back to this money site. Those are going to be things that help this website rank. It's going to go up in the rankings because of these links. These links are going to have one piece of very vital content that's called anchor text. This anchor text is very much like a keyword, okay? It's not exactly like a keyword, but it's very close to it, okay? So some technicalities there. We talk about it exactly how to make sure you have the right anchor text to make sure you're going to rank for these keywords. But we also make use of things like videos. So like I talked about earlier, I really love videos. I like making YouTube videos or whatever it might be. We can make use of YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, whatever it might be. We can make use of Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Those are all things that are going to point links back to this money website. All of those things are going to help this website rank, going to help more people come into this website, which are going to give us a better chance of people finding our content valuable, getting value from it, and taking action there. Like I said, the money website really is just a transaction. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to buy. We can get paid if people don't buy anything. We can get paid if people just fill out a form and hit submit. That's one of the things I make a lot of money with. We can get paid if people just fill out their email address and hit send. I want more information about this. That's something called CPA. Joe Marfolio and I both do that quite a bit. We get paid for those kinds of things. So the primary thing we do is just to make this website rank as highly as possible. Now, don't want to confuse anything, but one of the really cool things that we can do along with this model is we can also rank these videos and make sure these videos are at the top of search engines. Make sure Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest are at the top of these search engines. All of those things are valuable because they're going to help collect more traffic from people who are looking for solutions to their problems. Those are those keywords we talked about. So that's kind of a synopsis of how we approach search engine optimization. You've got to start with getting your website set up properly. And then from there, getting these links with the right anchor text, the right social signals to make sure that we rank at the top for these search engine keywords. So hopefully that helps.
All right, great, Fletch. Thank you very much. Greg, do you, not to put you on the spot, but do you have a few comments about what Fletch just said?
I mean, he explained it very well. You know, I'm pretty good at remembering like how beginners feel and all that, and I know a lot of people come into it and they're like, oh, PBN, anchor text, optimization, like they get so caught up in these little details. You have to understand the whole process is actually simple, okay? The thing is, it just takes time to learn, okay? So I know exactly how you're thinking because I'm the same way. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't understand how you do the PBN thing, though, and I don't understand how to do this, and I get clustered, you know, like I don't, my brain stops. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. But when you come in, we have a step-by-step for that. You know, we have the step-by-step for the PBN process. We have a step-by-step for how to get everything optimized correctly. And again, it really is simple. The thing is, it's just the process of learning it. You have to take out the time to learn it. It's simple to do, but it's not easy. You got to make some sacrifices. You got to sit down at your computer. You got to watch videos. You got to ask questions on anything you don't understand. But once you understand the process, it's really, really simple. So just for the people who are like me, who kind of have trouble learning, don't let those things get in the way of your success, because it's such a simple process. You just have to take the time to learn it.
All right, fantastic, Greg. Thank you so much for that. What I'm going to do now is try to walk us through if you want to have your own products and make money with them. Now, if that happened to be, like let's say an ebook or something like that, then of course you'd write the ebook, and that'd be one way of doing it. But what I want to focus in on, just kind of zero in on this Amazon thing, because a lot of people get excited by it. Liz is making an incredible amount of money doing this, just literally incredible amount of money doing this. Over $500,000 a month. One month she made over $1 million just a few months ago in sales, and that's a high 40% profit margin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about something called that we call an OMG, Amazon arbitrage plus scaling. Okay, Amazon arbitrage plus scaling. And what we're doing is we're going to retail stores and outlets, and we are inspecting the products that they have for sale. This could be at a Target. This could be at a store like a Five Below in Chicago. Here they have something called Five Below, which is stores that are kind of things cost $5 or less, or even they have, of course, dollar stores. There's Tuesday mornings. Just tons of stores that just you can even do this at Costco. And in this particular part, this isn't the only way to do Amazon, but I'm going to give you one example of an entry point. And to give you a proof of concept on this before I get started, I got an earnings report in just today by text message. Let me pull this up for you here. This is somebody who started on Amazon, just brand new. Let me see if I can get this kind of at a, might be just too bright. If I angle it a little bit, see if I can get it to work. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's 1,100. I think it's because of the lights above. Maybe if I kind of show you. Anyways, this is for, oh, cool. That's, our surprise popped up on my phone. I'll have to talk about that. Anyways, this is $1,151, and this is from somebody who 2 weeks ago did not have an Amazon account, had never made a penny on Amazon, and this is all with this arbitrage that we're talking about. So what we would do is go. I actually did this a little bit myself earlier, a couple weeks ago, and you can. Okay, great. Yeah, I've got a special surprise that we worked up for you. Like I said, we have a plot twist to come here. So I may have to interrupt this explanation, but I'll try to go through it as quickly as possible. So I went. I'm using an app called Profit Bandit, and this allows you to scan a barcode like I have on this. This is an energy bar wrapper. So of course it has a barcode right here. So if I were to use this app to take a picture of it, this is the last thing I scanned, which is a toy. It's a Transformer toy. It's Optimus Prime riding on Grimlock. And so what this lets you do is it lets you scan the barcode, and it'll instantly tell you who else is selling this on Amazon right now and how much they're selling it for, how many people are doing it, and little details about it. And then you punch in the price that you buy it for, you punch in the price that you sell it for, you can see what other people are selling it for. And it will return to you, including all the costs and fees and stuff. It will tell you whether you make a profit on it or not. So if I, like right now, these are selling pretty cheap, so there's probably not much profit in it. But let's say we did this energy bar. Actually, I'll try to do this right in front of you. I don't know how well this is going to work. I don't know if you can see the process, but you hold that energy bar up, and it's going to try to scan it. Okay, boom, it did it. See, it says no matches found. Shoot. should have found something that had a match. Let me try it one more time. That's weirdly enough, that's the process. It's the only thing I can find around here that has a barcode on it. Let's see. One more time here. I think it's saying no matches found again. Let me see if there's something else here. Maybe this tape here. Here we go. This is packaging paper here. I'll try the packaging paper. So I turn on the scanner, and I scan the barcode here. Hopefully it'll take it. There we go. Great. So now it returns, and in this case it found multiple items. So I'm going to pick, let's see, I'll pick this one here. And let's say I could buy this for $5. I'll put enter. And let's say we could sell it for $18. So then it's going to tell me, okay, if you could buy it for $5 and sell it for $18, then your profit is going to be $3.64 every time you make that transaction. Now, this isn't the best example in the world. I probably would go ahead and pass on it because I'd only make $3, and it's kind of big, and I'd have to kind of move it around. But let's say, let's say the energy bar had returned that profit number, and it was, like I buy them for $1 and make $3 in profit. Well, that's great. I could buy boxes of them and make a bunch of money. So you might say, well, okay, but where does that go? Well, first of all, remember, it's arbitrage. It's Amazon arbitrage plus scaling. To give you an idea of how powerful this can get, Liz has made in 1 month as much as $600,000 in sales doing this. So it can get really, really big. In fact, we were actually at Cotton's place. We did a little live event for OMG in Orlando, and one OMGer brought a friend over. Oh wow, we're actually this is our surprise. So I'll get back to my story. We have our plot twist here. Gregory Ortiz. Gregory, are you?
Hey Mike, how you doing? Can you hear me? Perfect. Yeah, I just want to apologize, by the way, if you hear background noise. I'm actually in a restaurant with a bunch of OMGers, actually, at the moment.
Well, that's wonderful, Gregory. We're so glad to have you on. I'm turning my microphone on mute because I'm getting kind of a weird background noise when other guys are talking. So, Gregory, you joined us about a year, a little bit over a year ago. At the time, you were a Bed Bath & Beyond manager, and now you're having extraordinary success. One of the exciting things about having you jump on with us today is that you're helping provide a bonus that Bob Proctor helped put together that VIX members are getting to enjoy as well. Can you give people your quick OMG story and also tell them about your part of the bonus, and then maybe introduce us to the other guys that you're there with?
Absolutely, no problem. So I joined OMG about a year and a month ago now, and pretty much the way everything started was I have a wife and I have a son, and at the time my son was 3, and it became a thing where I was working about 60 hours a week, and I said to myself, I can't continue to keep on being at work all the time. I can't work 60 hours a week. I spend no time with my son. I need to be able to change my life. And like with most things, if you want to change your life, you actually need to make a change in your life. So that's precisely what I did. I went ahead and just researched how to get more traffic online because I had a website at the time that I was interested in doing some business with. And I said, okay, what do I need to do? And then I ended up running into OMG that very same night. There was a webinar just like this one going on. And after hearing all the inspirational stories from everyone, like Fletch, Greg, Mike, Cotton, and everyone, I was all saying to myself, I need to go ahead and I need to join. The only issue at the time was I said, how do I join? Because if I charge this on my credit card, my wife is going to absolutely kill me. So I said to myself, what, if I join, I need to be able to make at least $500 per month so that way I can cover my costs at the time. So I went in with the mindset of knowing that this is what I need to do to help change my life. And to be honest with you, life is completely different. I'm sitting here with a couple other OMG members, and we were just talking about how our life was previous to joining OMG. And we all share the same thing, working 50 to 70 hours a week, being miserable, having to wake up to hearing an alarm ringing, having to hit the snooze button a few times because you don't want to crawl out of bed. And now you just wake up whenever you want. And life is absolutely amazing. I was able to buy a house for my wife and my son with money that I made from OMG. We like to refer to it as the house that OMG built within OMG, so it's kind of awesome. And my life has changed completely. At first I was one of those people who were like, can this really happen for me? But it's a thing where it absolutely can happen. It depends on you as a person, obviously overall, but all the tools are there. It's absolutely amazing.
Thanks, thanks so much, Gregory. It was really neat for you to put this together. Just so people know, Gregory's had extraordinary success. Makes many months upwards of $40,000 a month now. Was able to quit his job, and Greg's a huge fan of Bob Proctor's. Bob actually worked with Greg and another OMGer who's there, James Upjohn, to create a special bonus. It's going to be only open for a limited time. Can you tell people about your part of the bonus here?
Absolutely. So one of the things that you do need as far as getting into SEO, it's referred to as a PBN, which is a private blog network. Within your network, you have multiple sites. So part of the bonus is I'm going to be giving everyone a free PBN that you can register yourself at registration costs. So what this means to you, in case you're not aware, is typically you'll spend anywhere from like $120 to maybe $300 on one of these sites. I'll be giving you the URL, which you can register for just $12 yourself. So you'll be getting that just given away to you, and it'll help you get you started, because for almost everything SEO related, you need one of these to kind of practice on, help develop and hone your skill. Like, kind of think of it as if you were someone who is going to, become a ninja, and you want it to be a ninja, but you need a sword. You're going to be given a sword that you're going to be able to practice with, fine tune, and hone, all for just joining OMG through this webinar.
Thank you so much, Gregory. I really appreciate it. So, who else are you there with that you can hand off?
All right. So, the very next person I'll pass it off to is Jason Michael. He's actually been with OMG from the beginning, way before even myself. So, just give me 1 second. I'll pass the phone over.
All right, they're going to hand off the Gregory's phone, and you're going to get to meet another OMGer. This is Jason Michael. Hey, Jason, how you going?
Hey guys, how's everything? Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jason. So give us the rundown. Generally, where were you before you joined OMG, and how are you doing now?
Sorry, can you say that again? Joined OMG. Doing well.
Yeah, where were you before you joined OMG, and where are you now?
Oh, everything's been a massive blessing. Seriously, I owe all of my success 100% to OMG. I'm slightly below $40,000 a month right now since joining OMG almost 2 years ago now, and I really couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity and what has been given to me from it.
Awesome, Jason. Thank you very much for coming on and joining. Can you hand things off to James Upjohn?
Absolutely. Hey, Mike.
Hey there, James. James, you're over from the UK now in New York. You're meeting up with another OMGer. You put together a very special bonus with Bob Proctor, and I would love for you to walk through what the bonus is that people will be getting from Nick Johnson's network as well.
I'm struggling to hear you just a little bit. Can you just say that one last time, please, Mike?
Absolutely. Can you explain your bonus?
For the people signing up for Bob Proctor? Yeah, I'm going to get up with those people and speak with them for 30 minutes, help them get orientated inside OMG. It's a great lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to speaking to everybody in there, getting people set up on the right track. So, yeah, you get to hang out with me for 30 minutes, and it'll be very fun.
Awesome. All right, James, obviously we've got a lot of background noise, but I want to thank you for jumping on and joining with us today.
No problem at all, Mike. Thank you.
Okay, cheers and God bless.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Gregory. All right, thank you very much for jumping on with us today.
You got it. Thank you guys so much.
Have a good night. Have a lot of fun, guys. All right. OMG is a city on the hill. It's a place where friends come together in Providence, and obviously there was a lot of feedback on that, but we like to try different things here at OMG and try to bring things together. So let me explain what you just experienced, whether it all entirely made a lot of sense or not. That was Gregory Ortiz and James Upjohn. We also had a quick cameo from Jason Michael. Jason's making around $20,000 a month. Gregory and James Upjohn have created a bonus with Bob Proctor that Vic Johnson's members are going to be able to benefit from. And the benefit is going to be, first of all, that Gregory is going to give you a private blog network site that you can register for anywhere between $8 and $12. Normally, the caliber of site that you're getting might cost you $150 to $300, and it's a very powerful engine for getting your sites ranked. Fletch actually talked about that as well. You're also getting a one-on-one coaching session with James, particularly for getting a fast start. And I'll tell you this, we've gotten over 100 thank yous in from Bob Proctor's members that have joined OMG, to James Upjohn and to Gregory Ortiz for this bonus. They love it. It's a very powerful thing. And there's also a special Facebook group, the Law of Attraction Facebook group, that Bob and James and Gregory set up for you. It's a very powerful bonus. The bonus is going to be open until we close things out Monday night. It's Thursday night right now. It'll be Monday night at midnight. That's when that will wrap up. So it's very cool. We actually got to visit with them live. They were in New York City, of course. We had a lot of feedback, so it might have been a little bit difficult to hear them, but really great to meet with them and hear a little bit about their story. Hopefully you could hear it pretty well. I was talking about the way that retail arbitrage works, and we're going to use that a little bit to wrap things up. I think we've connected a lot of dots here. You saw me scan an item. If you're at one of these stores, you scan it. You can tell that it can go up on Amazon. You actually ship it in to what's called fulfillment by Amazon, where they'll actually fulfill things for you. You don't do any of the packaging or shipping yourself. You ship it to Amazon. They ship it to your individual clients for you, and you saw that earnings report. And it can really, really scale up. There's a couple of ways that this Amazon arbitrage plus scaling works. There's a couple ways that it really scales up and can get very huge. One way is that you're going to come across products that you could make yourself. If it was this paper stuff and you were selling it like crazy, you might be able to make your own paper product either in America or in China or Vietnam or some other place like that and sell it. And we have a lot of OMGers making 6 figures per month doing that. The other thing is that retail arbitrage itself scales. This kind of Amazon arbitrage plus scaling, it actually scales itself because you'll identify products that you can keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. In fact, I think I might hear in the background some people that are coming in with some product right now. So that's another element of things. All right, so that's just a little bit about Amazon. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Maybe I'll type things up a little bit in a follow-up email to help you understand that a little bit better. Lots of products coming in the door, though. Very exciting. So what I want to do, Fletch, is there a way for you to do a screen share and share your screen? I'm locked out of screen sharing, and to open up our earnings reports compilation and walk people through that a little bit. And then I'm going to get to how it is that people can join OMG and how that all works. We're going to wrap things up here very shortly.
Yeah, what's the URL on that, Mike?
It's /earnings-reports. And for those of you at home, there's a link right below this video.
Yep.
All right, well, Fletch is pulling that up. Let me explain how this whole OMG thing happened and why it is that you should be interested in our earnings reports compilation. Very, very long story short, I covered this a bit in the first webinar of a lifetime. As I mentioned earlier in this event, I started out in business myself. First of all, it took years for me to get in business for myself. Then when I opened up a physical store, I needed to find a way to get people to come to my store to advertise. I was struggling right away. And so I turned to the internet and I, tried to figure out how to make it happen, how to make it work. And eventually, I just realized I wanted just to be able to watch over somebody else's shoulder and see how they did it. Then I could replicate that process for myself. I figured there must be some product out there or some event that I could go to, maybe some coaching I could get. I did all those things. I paid for coaching. I went to events. I bought products. And while the creators of those individual things I was buying, they may have had their hearts in the right place, they weren't really showing me what they were doing. And so what I did was I used my skills that made me pretty popular in high school. I wasn't any like a high school bully or anything like that, but I used those skills to pull together some people who actually were making some amount of money online, not necessarily that much, but at least some, where I could actually go to their houses and watch over their shoulders, see what they were doing, and it worked like crazy. I immediately started making a lot of money. Now, fast forward a couple of years later, I was doing well enough that I was actually approached by a company that actually asked me to make an infomercial with some SEO best practices to show people what I was doing. I agreed, and the infomercial wound up testing out extremely successfully, and due to a stroke of luck, I wound up owning the infomercial outright. So all I needed at that point was some sort of a back-end coaching. If people bought my guide and they liked it and they felt like they were getting a lot of information, they wanted more. Maybe somebody to take them by the hand and lead them step by step through the process, that they could then take that coaching and have success with it. So I was courted by several large coaching companies, that wanted to be the back end for our infomercial. We had this very successful testing infomercial, and they talked about wining and dining me, flying me out to Vegas, all this stuff. Me and my partner David Mills heard them out. We heard their sales pitch, and we came back to them with two questions. One was, how much money are your coaches making by applying what they're teaching? So how much money are your coaches making by applying what they're teaching? That was our first question. Our second question was, how much money are your members making by applying these processes? So how are your members doing? How are your coaches doing with what you're teaching? And how are your members doing with what you're teaching? Well, we didn't really get the response that we were looking for from these coaching companies. In fact, their coaches weren't getting results with what they were teaching, neither were their members. So we actually turned to Greg Morrison. Greg had taken that same SEO Fast Start guide that I created that the show was about, and he had had extraordinary success. He had made over $1 million, and while he was making that $1 million, he had just been enormously successful. We had a small little forum that was kind of a precursor to our wonderful OMG Facebook groups, and Greg had answered over 2,000 questions. He created tutorial videos and would just give detailed answers to people, and it was incredible. So we realized this is exactly the kind of person that we wanted to work with. We asked Greg to become a coach, our original coach, and we built OMG around him. Well, you've heard people like Cotton and Fletch and everybody else testify to how great Greg is and what a terrific example Greg set for them. People started having success, one after the next, after the next, after the next, and it really snowballed a lot, like Cotton's snowballing method. We have more and more people having success, and something else happened. We also had those people having success paying it forward to other members, people like Fletch. Fletch started teaching other members. Eventually, we asked him to become a coach for us. Cotton was one of the people who he helped. Cotton wound up doing the same. And now, these individuals that you've met during part one and now part two of the webinar of a lifetime, these are the talented people. They may have started as beginners, but now they're literally extremely talented. And they're talented at doing what they're actually doing. Cotton is actually in the trenches doing SEO client consulting. Greg Morrison is actually in the trenches doing affiliate marketing, making a ton of money doing it. Liz is in the trenches, actually making money on Amazon, selling these products like what I showed you. They're very talented. That has led us to having an extraordinary number of earnings reports. At this point, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of earnings reports, most of them 5 figures or above, even 6 figures per month. And that's not out of thousands and thousands and thousands of members. That's out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of members. In fact, I hardly know any OMGers got inside, stuck with it, and kept with the process, and not had extraordinary success. There was one, but and I talked to him and found out he's really making a lot of money, over $100,000 a month. So I guess that killed my counterexample. So like I said, people that have come in and really gone for it have had extraordinary success. What I ask Fletch to do is walk you through our earnings course compilation, and I'll explain how you can join us.
Here you go, Mike. Anytime you want to jump in. Is this showing up on the screen? Screen share?
Screen share. It is showing on my screen.
Okay, cool. So what we've got, guys, is really, you know, it's not really us talking about us, it's other people talking about us. And these other people are not only some of really the giants in the industry of kind of turning your life around, but a lot of people who have joined us to do that exact same thing. You know, this entire page is made up of real people. You can click through, you know, you can watch the video or the actual text, you know, kind of earnings report or you know, success that they've had, where they just talk about, you know, what their experience has been. These are all live videos. I know that when we, you know, stream a video through it, you know, one of these you know, kind of you know, broadcasts or whatever, it gets all jumpy and whatnot. But these are real people. You can go look any one. So just hit pause here. Like, this is a lot of real folks who joined us to kind of change things in their life for whatever reason. You know, some of them may have had aspirations of making, you know, $100,000 a month. Other ones maybe just wanted to be able to, you know, pay off a couple credit cards and make their life a little bit easier. But each and every one of these people not only made this money, but they took the time out of their life to jump on and record a video or send us a comment or talk about the success they had, because not only were they grateful for kind of the training community, everything that facilitated their success, but they wanted to make sure that other people were aware of that and would benefit from that. And it's honestly, it's one of the things that jumped out at me when I was in, you know, a position where I was watching a webinar, and I wanted to find something that was not just a bunch of people that were really good salespeople or marketers that were trying to sell me something. And I wanted to see what the results or the success of the people who had joined their program were. This is the kind of thing that just, like, it jumps off the page. These are all people. And what was really cool, you know, when I joined, it was about 2.5 years ago now. There was a guy named Lonnie that I still talk to. You know, we're still friends, and you know, we get together whenever we can. But he was one of the people that was on this page. He still is. I don't know exactly where he is, but I'd pull him up if I could. Maybe I'll find him, you know, wherever. But you know, I watched his video, and he was such just a normal guy. You know, he had a skill, and he had some experience with being a basketball coach, and really came across OMG at whatever, you know, crossroads in his life, where he was looking at being able to either grow what he was doing or get out of what he was doing or whatever. But what he did was he found the training we have, you know, or that OMG had. I wasn't part of it. I didn't even found it by the time Lonnie found it. But he found that, and he said, you know what, I think I could use that to improve my life. And you know, his life had nothing to do with online marketing. You know, he was so far away from like this internet lifestyle or Lamborghinis and beachfront houses and private jets and all this stuff. That was not Lonnie. It certainly wasn't me either. And I think that's one of the reasons I kind of connected with him. I just wanted my life to be better. I wanted to be able to take care of my wife, my family. I thought that if I could get on some path that would take me to a better place. I didn't have to work harder. I could work smarter. I could get better at what I do, and each and every week, my life would improve slowly. It takes work, but I just wanted to know that what I was doing was the right thing. And I saw Lonnie, I saw his story, and he was, so down to earth. You could tell he wasn't like super, cerebral or academic or anything else, but he got it, and he understood that he had to put some work in and learn some stuff and also apply some stuff. And I was like, you know what, if this guy can do it, and it's somebody I actually reached out to on Facebook before I bought in. I was like, hey man, I saw like a video or a testimonial you had on this program. Is it real? Like I'm trying to figure out a better way to get through my day, to market my business, my construction business better. Is it legitimate? And he's like, oh yeah, man, like it is. You gotta learn it, you gotta do it. But like, I get phone calls, like 100 times more phone calls than I did before. And if I want to go this route, like I could totally put together like a whole online lifestyle now if I wanted. I'm still trying to figure that out, but like this works. And that for me was kind of the tipping point where I had to make some decisions that were not easy to make. I wound up I sold, essentially. I got a title loan on my only car, and I couldn't go back and do what I was doing before to make a living because I had to jump into OMG. I had to pay for that, and at that point it was kind of burning the bridges. It was saying that this is my way forward. It was something that I won't ever forget. And looking back on it, it could have gone two ways. I was the reason it went the way it did. It could have been like this thing that I was embarrassed of, like, oh, I spent some money on this thing online, I never took action in it, and I wound up losing my car because of it. Or yeah, I gambled on myself. I put the work in. I learned how to do this stuff, and now I make in excess of $500,000 a year. My wife said, "Yeah, honey, if you want to do this, if you think it's the right thing to do, I back you." Like we get to feel good about the roll of the dice that we pushed all the chips on the table on and said, this is what's going to get us out of the situation we were in. And the fact is, the training, the information, the community that you have within OMG is more than enough to change whatever situation you're in into whatever situation you want to be in. You met Cotton on here, who's making close to $500,000 a month. I'm happy as pardon my language, a pig in shit, making $500,000 a year. Cotton's making 10, 12 times that. It's what you want it to be. All the training is here. The only X factor is you. And if you're on this webinar still, if you're listening to this, if you're still considering this, it's because you've got that glimmer of hope that you believe in yourself. The last thing I would ever do is say don't believe in that. What you do is you keep that spark alive until you find that path, that thing that will enable you to get where you want to go, and then you just put everything you got into it. It's what I did 2.5 years ago. It's why I get to sit on this webinar and in a t-shirt and gym shorts and write on a whiteboard while two guys are doing my SEO for me. I mean, things change when you find that thing that will move your life forward, and you do everything you can to keep that alive and to push it that way. And that's what this is. I mean, that's what this is, because of not just me, but all of these people. All of these people have done the exact same thing, and were not only, you know, blown away with their own experience, but moved in such a way that they wanted to share it, that they wanted to help other people experience it too. And that's really what this earnings reports page is about. It's about us not selling us. It's about, you know, people who have joined this and who changed their lives that want to kind of share that experience with other people that they don't even know, you know, but they want to make sure that folks that get on our, you know, the webinars that we run are lured toward us, as opposed to some other, you know, guru or, you know, flim-flam artist that's going to sell them something that really cannot move their life in the right direction. So I know I kind of went on for a little bit there, but you know, it's something I'm passionate about. You know, the fact that this list continues to grow and there's so much incredible information here is just absolutely incredible. So yeah, if you know, Mike or Cotton wants to jump on and let me know what to do after this, I'm more than happy to give another screen share or whatever I need to do here.
Great, thanks so much, Fletch. The one thing I'd like you to do is pull up the sales letter, and that's at omgmachines.com/Vic, V-I-C, and then there'll be a video there, and then click through that link right there, and that'll take you to the sales letter. And if you scroll down and just kind of show people where the order buttons are, they can you know, read this letter. And of course, we've done a whole other webinar of the century. Of course, if you're very serious about it, you're going to take advantage of that. You know, we talk here about the immediate advantage that you get, the ongoing advantage, and the overwhelming advantage of joining OMG. And then Fletch is going to show you to where the order buttons are, and then that's you know, one of the biggest questions we have. You know, people just want to join. They're like, where are the order buttons? So Fletch will show you that. You know, this is OMG. You know, as Vic pointed out, that, you know, this is it's worth $100,000. Maybe it's worth $1 million. You know, we have a lot of people that have made $1 million or more. But you know, certainly you get inside for a fraction of that cost. And the links are right here. It's the 3 big green links. So we have a single payment, 6 monthly payments, or the extended payment plan with 12 payments. And you can go through there and make your decision as to which one of those suits you the best. So what I'll do now, we certainly got the full final word from Fletch there, and it was wonderful. I absolutely agree with him. What we're going to do at this point is get the final word from Greg and the final word from Cotton on joining, and then we will close out the night. We've really enjoyed ourselves. So thanks so much. Greg, you want to give us the final word?
Yeah, man, I think people got a pretty good idea that, you know, we have a working system in place, and we have so many success stories. So obviously, what we're doing works. You know, the question is just, do you want to come in and do the work? You know, and if you do, you have a very good chance of success. Like Mike said, there's not too many people that come in, they actually stick to it and follow the system where they don't succeed. And really, it's just about thinking long term. You know, just if you can just sacrifice a little bit now, you can really set yourself up for the whole rest of your life. You know, in my case, you know, 3.5 years ago, I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning to go to a casino at 4. And you know, I just had the vision where I didn't want to do that my whole life. And I found out my son was on the way, and I was like, I'm not waking up that early, going to be tired all day when I get home with my son. I'm just not doing it. Like, it's not going to happen. And that's when I put my foot down, and I made sacrifices. I didn't go out with my friends as much. I didn't watch as much TV. But that little bit of sacrifice, I'm now set up for the whole rest of my life. You know, just so you got to think long term. You got to remember why you're doing this. You know, before you quit, remember why you started. That vision. Whether it's traveling or spending more time with your family, or maybe you're into the fancy cars, that's cool. If that's you, just remember that vision and don't let go of it, because a little sacrifice now can go a long way. You know, just think, do you really want to wake up every day and go to the job you're going to? If you do, that's fine, but just remember those things when you come in, and just come in and do the work, and you can really set yourself up for a long time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. I really love that and appreciate what you're saying. Cotton, please take us home and we'll close it out.
You know, about a year and a half ago, I got inside of OMG, and I really don't know what would have happened if I would have never took the action to get here. And so, you know, if you want to change your life, and if you want an opportunity like I had, then we have all the information inside of OMG for you. The information means nothing without action. It's not going to be a push button where you're just going to sit on the couch and do nothing or work a little bit. To get to the type of money that all of us are earning right now, we work a lot of hours. To get to $10,000 a month, sure, that's easy to do. I mean, whatever you need, if you just follow the information that's inside of OMG and take some action, it can absolutely change your life. One of the things that I've said on the past webinar is you can never, ever change your life if you don't take the first steps forward. You've seen everyone. We've watched football games. We've watched everyone cheer for everyone else. But the bottom line is we all control our own lives. If you want to be the person that's successful, if you want to be the person that everyone's cheering for, that everyone is looking up to for answers, you have to make that change. And that first happens with taking a chance on yourself. Is this program cheap? No, but I do believe that what we offer, that literally just a few hours of videos in there, and there's hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of videos covering multitudes of different things from internet marketing. Any one of these pieces of information can literally change your life. We did a webinar last night, and I guarantee you that just the information that we had on that we provided with our members could provide you with a lot of information to just make a lot of money. So I encourage you that if it's something that you're sitting around and looking for answers and you're searching, you don't have to search any further. The same information that got me here, Fletch here, Greg here, Mike here, all of us, and the hundreds of other people that you've seen can do the same for you. So I look forward to seeing all you guys in the inside, and if there's anything I can ever do, just always reach out and ask. Back to you, Mike.
Right. Thanks so much, Cotton. Looking forward to seeing you. All right. At this point, the link to join us is right below the video. It's omgmachines.com/Vic. It's omgmachines.com/Vic. Our earnings reports compilation that we're very proud of is right below that. And there's also a link to email me with your personal questions. I want to thank everybody. I believe that I hit upon one way or the other all the questions that people were asking us. Just a quick rundown. Just to sum things up, just the last few questions that we got. Number one, does it work for beginners? Absolutely. Most of the people that you've met started as beginners. You don't need a bunch of tech skills. It works regardless of your age. We have people making 5 figures per month as old as 77. It's the oldest person who I know of, Paul, and as young as 19. It's Michael Lando Spears from the UK. By the way, does it work overseas? Yes, it works all over the world. We have one member doing affiliate marketing from Egypt, making as much as $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 per month. We have a member from Sri Lanka also doing affiliate marketing, making as much as, I think his best month was $43,000. I just got the earnings report from in commissions, you know, in profits all over the world. Costa Rica, you know, Canada, the UK, France, Japan, China, all over the world, Malaysia, everywhere. You know, so once you get started, once you join us, costs are very low in terms of actually getting up and running. You can actually bootstrap it and do it entirely free, especially if you're doing SEO client consulting. 3 different models. We went through all those models. I didn't hit upon Amazon too hard, but I think we hit upon it pretty hard in the first webinar event, so it probably was enough to put you over the edge. I want to thank you for coming and joining us. I also want to thank Vic. It was a great idea for us to put on this part 2 event, and I think that you know, if you're on the fence, jump on in and join us. You're going to have a lot of fun. You know, Bob Proctor has made us his #1 all-time endorsed program for a reason. The success inside is extraordinary, and you know, we've put together something that's so valuable. So many people have said to me, you know, well over 100 people have told me that this program is worth over $100,000. Doesn't cost anywhere near that, but when you do come inside, keep that number fixed in your mind, because it's like writing yourself a $100,000 check. I want to thank you for coming on and joining us, and we will see you on the inside of OMG.